All right. Well, a lot of people have been talking about it. Hot news about the PBC with these potential fights that they have close to being made. The rumor is these fights are tentatively scheduled. One fight is definitely scheduled. That's the Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman pay per view on Fox pay per view. And I believe that is July 20th. And some other potential fights that we heard: Errol Spence versus Sean Porter, either August 3rd or sometime in September. And now they're talking about Danny Garcia versus Mikey Garcia. And I believe that fight is scheduled tentatively for August 31st. Now, like I said, the only fight that is final is the Manny Pacquiao Keith Thurman fight, but these other fights are pretty close to being done, and looks like they will get done. So a lot of people are calling this like a PBC welterweight tournament, but it's not exactly technically a tournament. But it's hard to imagine that these matchups are not interchangeable, meaning the winners could be fighting each other and the losers could be fighting each other as well. So this is definitely something to get excited about without question. Um, you know, it, the, we've been talking about for the longest time how great the welterweight division is and how many great fighters that the PBC has. But let's take a look at these groups of fighters now. You have Manny Pacquiao, you have Keith Thurman, you have Danny Garcia, you have Mikey Garcia, you have Errol Spence, you have Sean Porter. When you look at other tournaments that have taken place, like the Super Six, Super Middleweight tournament, and these World Boxing Super Series tournaments, when you look at these tournaments, the one thing that stands out with this group of PBC fighters is all these guys that are in this potential tournament, if you will, if you want to call it that. These guys are all either current or former world champions. And not only that, they're multiple weight world champions, they're unified world champions. So these guys are an immensely accomplished group of fighters. And never, ever have we seen a group of fighters like this, as highly accomplished as these guys, getting set for kind of a round robin type series here in the welterweight division. So that's one thing that stands out about this potential tournament and this potential series of fights in the welterweight division over on the PBC side. Now, obviously, there's always going to be the factions in the sport: PBC versus the Zone, PBC versus ESPN, and already you have people on the Crawford side, you have people on the Errol Spence side. But again, Errol Spence, he's got a ton of potential matchups that he can make a lot of money with over here in the current PBC stable. So I can understand, as much as I would love to see that Crawford fight, it would be my fight of choice. But we understand why the fight's not happening. It will eventually happen. But again, when you got a guy like Errol Spence who can do 400,000 pay-per-view buys and who can put 45, 50,000 people in a stadium, and he's on the biggest platform possible, which is Fox. Fox is in 96% of the homes in America. Everyone has Fox. It's free TV. So when you got a guy that has all those things in his favor, and then you got a guy like Terrence Crawford, who, quite frankly, it does have a pretty good deal monetarily, but he's not getting the exposure that Errol Spence is getting, and he's not as popular as Errol Spence is. And he doesn't have the pay-per-view success that Errol Spence has, and he's never packed 45, 50,000 people in a stadium. So, Errol Spence got great matchups over on the PBC side. So it only makes sense for him to pick up as many belts as he can before he does get in the ring with Terrence Crawford. And that fight does need to get a little bigger because, again, Terrence Crawford's really not a household name. Errol Spence can definitely get there with the platform of Fox. We already know that. So that's definitely some potential there for Errol Spence to become bigger and bigger and bigger. And, he's been on a lot of shows, ESPN. He's been on a lot of the Fox sports shows as well. And, Errol Spence, like I said, has a lot of potential great fights that he could unify titles with over on the PBC side. So if he fights Sean Porter, which it looks like he's pretty close to doing, it's pretty close to being set, that's a unification bout. And then if he ends up getting the winner of the Keith Thurman Manny Pacquiao fight, then he'll have 3 titles. Terrence Crawford's 1. So this is a great opportunity for a lot of these welterweight fighters here, because who's going to be left standing in the end? I think most people think it will be Errol Spence, but the thing is this: when you look at these matchups, Mikey Garcia versus Danny Garcia, Sean Porter versus Errol Spence, and you look at Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman, you may favor one guy or another, but you can't say definitively that their opponent doesn't have a shot. So, I mean, I favor Errol Spence over Sean Porter, but Sean Porter can definitely make this an interesting fight. He can make it a very interesting fight. I don't think he would win, but who knows? He's good enough that possibly he could win, but I don't think he will. But he can definitely make the fight interesting with his style. So that's definitely an intriguing fight. Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, that's a pick'em. That's a pick'em. I think Manny Pacquiao wins, but a lot of people think Keith Thurman wins. Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is not exactly Errol Spence, not as fast, probably doesn't hit as hard. That is not a southpaw, and he's not as big, but he can still box and he can still punch. But Mikey Garcia, again, he's a very, very crafty, skilled boxer. So did he just bite off more than he could chew against Errol Spence? And can he perform with that next, tier down of welterweights? The Danny Garcias and the Keith Thurmans and the Manny Pacquiaos, can he hang with those guys? Well, possibly. And that's what's intriguing about Mikey Garcia versus Danny Garcia. So I think that this is great news for boxing. I think, however you want to call it, whatever you want to say here, PBC is killing it. There's no question about that. PBC, if all these fights do come off, that they will definitely have the best schedule laid ahead in the sport of boxing. So I think this is great news. I think this is a situation where people always talk about how they want to have the best fighting the best. Well, you pretty much have it here. If all these matchups and all these guys do end up fighting, and then the winners end up fighting each other, and even if the losers end up fighting each other, those are still good fights as well. So this is a can't miss here, no matter how you mix and match these guys. There's fights and matchups for days here. And then if you have rematches and 2 out of 3s or whatever, I mean, this is just great boxing right here. Sean Newton says, isn't the WBSS having the best fight the best? I don't think the fighters, as I said earlier, I don't know if you're just jumping on late. Those fighters are not nearly as accomplished as these fighters. I don't think that those guys are all on the same level. Like, there's a lot of fighters in the WBSS, particularly in the early rounds, that you know who's going to win. You know who's going to win. These fights are much more competitive. These guys are much more accomplished. Like I said before, they're all former world champions, and a lot of them are multi-weight world champions, and a lot of them have been unified world champions, and they've been champions, 2-time world champions. So when you look at the super series, the World Boxing Super Series, not everyone's a world champion. Not everyone's as accomplished as these group of guys are. So again, I'm not knocking the WBSS, but it can't hold a candle to these matchups. There's no question about it in my mind. H Money's talking about the zone, and the zone kind of has a very similar situation with the middleweights. You got Canelo, you got Golovkin, you got Jacobs, you got Andre. But that's only 4 guys. Over on the PBC side, there's like 6. ESPN at 175, yeah, that's another one. But I still think this group of welterweights, you have like 6 guys here where everyone else has like 4 or 5. You have 6 strong guys here. You know what I'm saying? When you match them all up, they're all tight competitive matchups, really, if you think about it. For PBC up, Exisco says that PBC also has 168. That's correct. Yeah. None of these PBC fights will do 1 million pay-per-view buys. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But it's harder. It's harder to do 1 million pay-per-view buys. I mean, Canelo didn't always do 1 million pay-per-view buys either. He had to have, the right opponent. I mean, he fought Cotto. He did 900,000. When Canelo fought Chavez Jr., he did $1 million. When he fought Golovkin, he did $1 million. But those are only 2 opponents that he's done $1 million or more with. So Golovkin and Chavez Jr. But still, I mean, it's hard to do $1 million in today's day. Exisco says Crawford Spence will do $1 million in 2020. Maybe. Doubt it. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to call. I probably won't do $1 million. But so much for pay-per-view being dead. I mean, we've already had like 4 pay-per-views this year, and we're going to have a 5th one with Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman. So I don't think pay-per-view's going away anytime soon. So it's definitely not going away anytime soon. So let me ask you guys. I'm going to ask you guys in the chat. I'm gonna name these potential matchups, and you guys tell me who wins. Spence versus Porter. I think everyone's gonna probably say Porter. Excuse me, Spence, not Porter. Excuse me. I think Spence versus Porter. Everyone's gonna take Spence. What about Mikey Garcia versus Danny Garcia? Who wins that one? Everyone likes Spence. Yeah, Spence. Okay, so now what about Mikey Garcia versus Danny Garcia? I like Danny Garcia in that one. Yeah. Oh, some people. Wow, it's kind of got one Mikey, but mostly Danny's here. Yeah, they're all Danny's. All right, here's the big one here. Yeah, everyone's picking. 2 people picked Garcia, and then everyone else picked Danny. There's a lot of Danny's. Yeah. Okay, so what about Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman? Oh, you like Thurman? I like Pacquiao. Wow, a lot of people picking Thurman here. Any Pacquiaos? 1 Pacquiao. Any more Pacquiaos? Just me and you, JC. Oh, Exisco's picking Pacquiao, so it's 3 of us. Oh, H Money's picking Pacquiao. Mario G's picking Pacquiao. Also, see, so that's really a 50-50. Yeah, but does he have to be an elite fighter, Sean, to beat these guys? Wow, so it's like 50-50. 50-50 in the chat. That's probably the best matchup out of all of them right now over there. That's the most intriguing matchup. I think Pac still has it. I think he has enough to beat these guys. Porter Styles too wild, says JC. Yeah, I hear you on that one. Sean Newton says that Thurman beats him 9-3. Oh, okay. It's a tough one, but I like Pacquiao. Danny versus Mikey is a close fight too, but I think Danny wins. This is Alex T. Interesting. So who's Crawford gonna fight next? Brooke, probably. I love Demetrius Andrade versus Canelo. I think that's a tough fight for him. Thurman didn't look sharp last fight, and he doesn't seem to have that desire that he once had. I don't know if he wants it anymore. That's the thing. Yeah, Thurman doesn't have that right hand either. He's more of a left hook guy. Brooke versus Crawford in the UK. I don't hate that fight. I don't hate that fight at all. I don't think that's a bad fight at all. Guys think that Crawford made a mistake re-signing with Top Rank and not coming over to the PBC. Because after Brook, who does he have? Crawford shouldn't go to the UK, but it makes more money there. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good move for Crawford to go to the UK. It's more exposure for him, become internationally known worldwide. I think it's good. Exisco says that Crawford stagnated his own career. Jose Ramirez after Brook. Yeah, we'll see. Joe Lowe says Haney gets killed. Haney's just getting started. So PBC is going to duck Crawford. That kills their legacy. Yeah, it's kind of a bad look. I can't argue with that. I think they're gonna fight each other first, and then Crawford's gonna be the cherry on top, I guess. Because they can make money fighting each other, and they have 3 of the titles over there. So, but I ain't gonna argue with you. I definitely want to see Crawford fight those guys. There's no question about it. If you ask me, would I rather see Crawford fight Danny Garcia or Errol Spence or Sean Porter or Manny Pacquiao instead of fighting Cal Brook, I would tell you, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But those PBC guys can fight each other and still make good fights. That's the thing. That's just the fact that, that's just the facts, and that's just the reality of the situation. After Porter loses to Spence, Heyman will send him over to ESPN to see if he can beat Crawford. Interesting. Interesting, Alex T. Pro Grace and Ramirez are legit opponents for Crawford down the road. Maybe. I don't hate those fights. I really don't. Those guys are solid at 140. Let's see how they. It's hard to speculate how well they do at 147, but we'll see, because they're not small guys. They're decent sized guys. They could fight at 147 probably comfortably. H Money says Devin Haney will outbox Moma. Eddie Hearn took over box. Guys, don't forget to check out the links in the description box. Mega Fit Meals and the Ringside Reporter t-shirt. Help support the channel, guys. Help support the channel. And a super chat every now and then wouldn't hurt. But check out those Mega Fit meals. Those are home-cooked, freshly prepared, highly nutritious, quality meals. I buy them like every 2 weeks, man. Great meals. Click on the link and buy 12 meals, and you will get a free t-shirt courtesy of the Beeb. Barrios is the truth, no question. He's definitely solid. I agree with you, Sean. Virgil Ortiz versus Crawford in 2020, 2021. Guys, got to try them meals, JC. Check them out, man. I'm telling you. They're solid, bro. They're solid. Good variety too. They got enchiladas now and stuff. They got pizza. They got different stuff. They got a breaded cod now with almond flour, and they got a lot of good stuff, man. I'm telling you, stuff is really good. You could tell the food's high quality too. You could tell when you're eating something that's high quality. You could tell when you eat something that's processed. You really can. Thank you, Corey. Salute my brother. Great work. Garcia versus Garcia pay-per-view. That's a good question. That's a good question, Corey Lee. Thank you so much for the super chat. I don't know, man. I have a feeling that probably won't be pay-per-view, but who knows? Who knows? No, there's no commitment with Mega Fit Meals. You can buy whatever you want when you want. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to get. You don't have to get a subscription. You can buy. You can buy them. Buy 12 of them 1 week, and then you don't have to buy them again for another month if you didn't want to. You have to buy them again for 6 months. Buy them whatever you want. Is it pay per view, Sean? Okay, I wasn't sure. Yeah, there's no commitment. There's no commitment with the Mega Fit meals. Absolutely not. Spence versus Porter is not pay per view. No, I know that for a fact. Devin Haney got more money than Gervonta Davis. Alex T says that the Garcia versus Garcia they're talking about that being on pay per view. That's pay per view. I don't know. I don't think that's a pay per view fight, but I'll buy it anyways. I buy all the fights. I'd be interested in it. Spence said he ain't fighting in August. Sounds like he's mad the loser of his fight is on pay per view and he's not. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I would have thought that they would have. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they think that Garcia was the reason why that pay per view did so well. I don't know, but I think Spence did a great job promoting that fight too. He did a lot of stuff in the community and stuff down in Dallas. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how that does. Garcia versus Garcia, pay per view number wise. I'm not so sure that's a great idea to put that on pay per view though. I'm not crazy about it. Wow, Spence is mad from close to people to his camp. Interesting. I wouldn't doubt it. The guy that you beat's going to be on pay per view, and you're not. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. Matchbook Boxing got the best fighters. Fantasy matchup: Michelle Joy Phelps versus Jenny Sushi. Sean Newton Boxing says Spence became a prima donna. I also heard, I don't know, Corey may be able to help me out with this one. I heard rumors that Spence likes to party a lot too. He likes to drink. I don't know how true that is, but I heard he likes to party. He likes to drink. And we all see sometimes he gets big in between fights too. So who knows? Who knows? Yeah, Spence always looks high. A lot of times when he got the camera on him, he looks drunk too. He looks like he seems like he likes to party, man. DSG versus Garcia is pay-per-view and Spence versus Porter isn't. That lets you know that Al believes Garcia was the reason that pay-per-view sold, not Spence. Good point, J-Lo. Or Joe L-O. Good point, Joe L-O. Devin Haney is the next Floyd Mayweather, says H Money. I don't know about that, brother. I don't know if I want to give him that label just yet. It'll be a little too soon for that one. So you guys think of this whole Deontay Wilder versus Dominic Brazil fight, all this craziness that's going on. All this craziness. Deontay Wilder's talking about putting that body on my record talk again, man. You guys think of that? You guys think that's called for? Another fighter telling another fighter that he's going to try and kill him in the ring? That's all. Think that's all hype, or you think that's just? You think he means that shit? Exisco says Wilder should say whatever he wants. Let him be a Hale. Tyson said worse things. Alex T says I got Wilder, but this I want a body talk is disgusting. Joe Lopez says I think it's uncalled for. Joe Ramos says Wilder is the definition of ignorant. Sean Newton Boston says Wilder always trying to become big by being the next Tyson. BS. I got you. Brazil, a dead man walking, says H Money. Boxing voice. JC says he's selling the fight. Zisco says we love a sport that may kill people potentially. Let's not act like saints and be the conscious conscious police. Okay. Would Joe Lopez says would Wilder bring the same energy if he did kill someone in the ring? That's a good question because when that has happened in the past, the guys that have been the guys that actually killed people in the ring, they were never the same afterwards, and they had a heavy heart moving forward in the sport of boxing. So it's easy to say that now, but you never know how you're going to feel. That has a traumatic effect on you. It has to. There's no question about it. So to sit there and say that it wouldn't bother him, or he would think that it wouldn't bother him, well, he doesn't know that for sure. You know, it's kind of uncalled for. I'm not crazy about it. I don't think it needs to be said. Sean Newton says it's all talk. Tyson was always like that. Wilder only just started this BS. M. Joe, get over it. There's more things to worry about. Wilder's purposely trying to go viral. Oh, he says get over it. There's more things to worry about or focus on. And then Clinton Smith says it's uncalled for and shows that Wilder is purposely trying to go viral. Exisco says, wouldn't it be ironic if Brazil killed Wilder instead? I mean, I don't want either guy to kill the other. I mean, that's not something I'm looking forward to. I don't think either guy should kill either guy. You know? Do I think Brazil is worth a small bet? Asks Joe Ramos. I really don't, man. I can't see a way he wins. I'd be surprised if he wins. But who knows, man? I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to envision him not catching a right hand at some point. Disco says, I want nobody to die, but Wilder ain't looking at it if it could happen to him. But it's all talk. Okay. John Newton Boxing says, always worth a small bet. Yeah, I mean, but this is the problem. Even if he goes behind on the cards, will they give Brazil rounds? Like if Wilder gets behind on the cards, because we've seen Wilder. Like look at those Ortiz scores. That Ortiz scores, like Ortiz was clearly winning that fight. Clearly, Gerald Washington was clearly winning that fight. You know, and even Spilka, I thought Spilka was ahead before he got stopped. And when you look at the scorecards, it tells a different story. So, and I don't care what anyone says. I think Fury won that fight too. So I don't know. Unless Brazil knocks him out, he's gonna have a tough time getting this fight on the scorecards, or winning this fight on the scorecards, I should say. It's not gonna be easy. This is the year of the upset, says R&R 1000. It's a good point, B, but the cards, I think Brazil can crack a bit, but and THBK Rose, says Joe Ramos. Throw straight shots. Brazil can crack and throw straight shots. Yeah. Exisco says Dillian White beats Wilder or nah. I don't think Dillian White beats Wilder either. If you're a guy that takes shots a lot, gets hit a lot, then you're not going to beat Wilder. You need a guy like Fury can beat Wilder, a guy that has defense. Brazil needs a KO. He ain't going to outbox Wilder, says Sean Newton. I agree. I definitely agree. I don't think Brazil. I don't think Brazil is going to outbox Wilder. No question about it. I just don't see it. Exiscus Parker's the biggest hype job of his era. Huge letdown. There's only one tour. Clinton Sims says, I thought I heard Vozick was very concerned that he might have killed Stevenson. Probably was. I mean, he wasn't happy about what he did. Wasn't intentional, but. All right, guys, I think I'm going to jump off, but we're going to be doing a show on Saturday, not just a post-fight show, but we're going to be doing a live commentary show on the fight. So obviously, we're not going to show the fight, but we're going to be doing a live commentary on the fight and give our opinion on the action and kind of do a play-by-play, Eric and I, on Saturday. So if you want to check that out, feel free to come to the channel. Check that out. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys click the links. Exisco says, tell Robert to stop being so antiquated. Yeah, I agree. Alex T says, you must be Polynesian. Yep. So don't forget to check us out on Saturday, and obviously check us out on the Sunday show. Every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Come to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell so you can find out when we go live, because we've been doing a lot of spontaneous shows. We're doing a lot of spontaneous videos. But rest in peace, Harold Letterman. Much respect to Harold Letterman. Shout out to him and his family. He was a nice guy. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Until next time, talk to y'all soon. Have a great night. Beeb is out. Peace.